I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. MAGA extremist Lauren Boebert is saying that the main reason she's opposing the $1.7 trillion omnibus spending bill, which will keep our government working, is the fact that she claims it is sexualizing her children. And in this ridiculous video she makes, she yells at the senators and says, "You are sexualizing my children with this bill." Play the clip.
I have one question for the senators wanting to pass this $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. Why do you want to sexualize our children? I have 4 boys, and this law is targeting children of their ages all across America. This bill appropriates $1.2 million for LGBT students in San Diego, California. $500,000 for the Long Island Gay and Lesbian Youth Program, $105,000 for an LGBT youth program in Pittsburgh, $523,000 for Compass LGBTQ Youth Services in Lake Worth Beach, Florida. This isn't about consenting adults living their lives. I'm working hard in DC to protect the freedoms of all Americans, but this bill funds the sexualization of our children, and that is disgusting. It's un-American and it's wrong, and it's just another reason why I am a no on this omnibus.
So what Lauren Boebert is offensively saying is that because there's a few $100,000 here and a few $100,000 there out of a $1.7 trillion bill that's going to provide services to the LGBTQ plus community, that is somehow sexualizing her children. That's the way they engage in this horrific, discriminatory, performative, but frankly, very dangerous conduct. You want to know, though, what is sexualizing children, Lauren Boebert? How about it's when your husband took out his penis and showed it to children at a bowling alley in 2004? I think we have the police reports from the minors who were the victims that day. How about this one where one of the minors said that he said, "I will show you." He pulled down his zipper and pulled it out. His hand was holding the head, and all I saw was the shaft. I knew that wasn't his thumb because thumbs aren't 6 inches long. I turned away, and that's when her friend and I went and told what had happened. Or how about the other victim that was there that your husband did it to as well when he took out his genitals in front of minors? And this is where one of the people said, "This person and I were standing at the snack bar, and she came up and looked at my tattoo on my back, and she pulled down her sock and said, 'Look, mine is fading.' Then Jason Boebert said, 'I have a tattoo on my dick.' And then this person said, 'Yeah, whatever.' And then he turned to ignore him. And then Jason came up from behind us and pulled out his penis out of his pants." How about that is sexualizing children? And this is all that these MAGA Republicans are talking about now. As Democrats are talking about issues that are critical to the American people, as there are adults in the room trying to address issues like healthcare and trying to address issues like education and trying, by the way, to address issues like child sexual exploitation, because there was indeed a vote this week on that precise issue, and the vote was a bill to enhance child sex abuse investigations. And guess where Lauren Boebert voted? Her and 28 other Republicans voted no. Every single Democrat voted to bolster the resources that law enforcement has to investigate child sex abuse. But here Lauren Boebert, who's giving the performative speech, was joined by 28 other Republicans, MAGA Republicans, including Congressmember Bishop and Boebert and Brooks and Cloud and Clyde and Comer and Crawford and Donalds and Fox and Gohmert and Good and Gosar and Green, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Heiss and Higgins and Jackson and Massey and McClintock and Moore and Nels and others in rejecting, in opposing a bill that would enhance the ability for investigations into child sex abuse. Okay, now talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene is also obsessed now talking about sex every single day, as Democrats are actually talking about real issues that are impacting America. I mean, literally, Marjorie Taylor Greene gave a speech in front of the Young Republicans, a group of teenagers and young adults who just are part of the Republican Republican Party, young Republicans. It's called Young Republicans for a reason. And one of the main topics she focused on were dildos and sex toys in department stores. Like, this is what her message is. This is the speech that she's giving to young Republicans. Here, play the clip just to remind you of this ridiculous speech.
By the way, you can pick up a butt plug or a dildo at Target and CVS nowadays. I don't even know how we got here.
Okay, and I pointed out the hypocrisy of Lauren Boebert. This is the Marjorie Taylor Greene who, when she would give speeches, she would have a cardboard cutout of Donald Trump behind her, and then she would go and grab the cardboard cutout's crotch in front of the audience. Here, play the clip. I'm sure you remember this clip.
This guy right here is great. Standing up in there in the mucky swamp. Diane always has him in the mucky swamp. Yeah. But it's amazing.
Yes, and this is the same Marjorie Taylor Greene who was recently separated and divorced from her husband, and it's been reported that one of the reasons is because of a relationship with a bodybuilding sex guru, and she's the person who's lecturing people in this country about marriage. It is utterly despicable, and while that's going on, you have Josh Hawley going on all of the right-wing cable channels, and all he's talking about is porn, and you have the Republican senator from Utah. Mike Kelly, he wants to ban porn, introduce a bill to totally ban porn. And here is Josh Hawley talking about, by the way, Josh Hawley skipped the speech from Zelensky. He protested the Zelensky speech and said he's not showing up. He's refusing to show up. He's very he's very pro-Putin and critical of Zelensky. But here's what Hawley was talking about on a historic day when Zelensky gave this incredible speech here in a joint session. Hawley was talking about how porn needs to be banned. Play this clip.
What we need to say to young men and young women, too, is just the opposite. Aspire to be something more than a consumer. And for young men, aspire to be something more than a consumer pornography. Aspire to actually create something in your life, like create a family, for instance. That is the single greatest act of rebellion, if you like, against the liberal culture that is suppressing people's desires, that is suppressing their potential, is to go out and actually engage in real relationships, get married, have a family, have kids, have your own ideas, and be a responsible member of society. I mean, this is what people are built to do. And again, it's what young people want to do. They want to be challenged in this way.
Right. No, and I'm sure clips of you saying that will be everywhere later, and all the cool kids will making fun of you, cool kids who are not yet 60 and childless. I hope you keep saying it, because I think it's clearly true. And I think it's brave in the context of today. Senator Josh.
And this is who the MAGA Republican Party is now. They talk about all this. And meanwhile, when you have a vote to enhance the resources for child sex abuse investigations, guess where the Republicans vote on that? They vote no. And that's why we need to show that. We need to have these conversations with the American people, because it's not just that these people are performative clowns. They are hateful human beings who are trying to use these issues and are using these issues to divide our country and to sow further seeds of hate to try to separate us as people. And when you go and you see Lauren Boebert saying she's not supporting this because support for the LGBTQ plus community, she argues, is sexualizing her children. Meanwhile, as I've discussed earlier in the video, you have her husband literally sexualizing children, and then you have literally her voting against a bill that would help child sex abuse victims. She votes against that bill. This is who, and by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene voted against it too, and all those other MAGA Republicans who are out there running around voted against that bill too. That is who they are. We need to call them out each and every day. That's what we're going to do right here on the MeidasTouch Network. Hey, hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your support. And in addition to hitting the subscribe button, check us out at Patreon. Go to patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. We have lots of exclusive content. You can only get there, but most importantly, help grow this independent media platform. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas.
Our blue wall stopped the red wave and election deniers got denied election. That's why we're celebrating with the new Democracy Prevails team. We've got lots of work to do, but we should all be proud that when democracy was tested, democracy prevailed. You've earned this. Don't wait. Get yours right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.